much do you fuck with cryptocurrency?
You know, I've dabbled in it here and there, and I got lucky and I bought some. I don't really like talking about it because it bothers me that I own it because I feel like I made free money, and I don't really care for it. And when I talk about it, people get excited, and that bothers me because it takes credit away from me. So I'd rather just not even talk about that.
Yeah, because a lot of people that listen to it love it, and it's like a
most definitely. But it's like stumbling on a diamond ring in the middle of the floor. I mean, I own some, and I've made a few dollars, but that doesn't determine who I am. It's just like buying a car and finding, like I said, a Rolex in the middle. I don't respect anything that I didn't earn.
Yeah,
that was just luck.
What do you think about? What do you think about the future of it? Do you think potentially in the next 10, maybe 20 years, it could be something that's legitimate that replaces the financial system we have now?
I'll give you my point of view on crypto. Like Bitcoin, I think there's 21 million Bitcoins.
Yeah,
and I don't think there's going to be any more generated. And I think the people have value in Bitcoin, A, because it's manipulated very heavily, and B, it's the fear of the U.S. currency. If you look at this pandemic, we've already created $8 trillion of nothing.
Yeah, it's insane.
So I think our debt was 23 trillion previous. Now they would create another 8. So a third of our of our overall debt has
in a year.
In a year. Yeah. So people look at crypto as a hedge against whatever else they're doing.
Yeah.
It's just the way I look at it. Like I hedge a lot of things, but I think crypto's cool. But if they outlaw crypto where you can't use it, it'll probably take a big dip. And now the IRS is getting heavily involved. If you spend it, you got to pay taxes on it. So I don't think it's going to go up as fast as people are predicting. I mean, it's hedging, it's hovering around 55 to 60,000 at its peak. Even though last year around this time it was about 4,000. Mm-hmm. It might generate, higher and higher and higher yields, but I mean, it's just, I own it, but I don't really care to talk about it because it doesn't make me who I am, and it bothers me even owning it.
Well, it's just interesting. I mean, it's interesting because some people like will buy it and just hold it forever. Like me, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with it. I have a little bit of money in it, and I just kind of like sit there and watch it. When it dips, but I don't I don't take money out when it gets up or buy more when it goes down. Or I do when it goes down, I do buy more, but when it goes up, I don't sell it because I'm like, well, maybe it'll keep going up.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's smarter when it goes up a little bit to pull it out. Mm-hmm. All of it out, and then when it goes down, put it all back in. I don't know.
Yeah, so how I play it is once it hits a certain number, I sell it all, and then when it dips, I buy it back.
Okay.
Because I've already made a lot of money just moving whatever I have. But once again, it's like a hobby for me. It's like I'm driving at a red light.
It's like playing fantasy football.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. But, and it's a lot easier than real estate or baseball cards or used or vintage cards or diamonds or watches because you're buying and selling in seconds.
Yeah. For sure. What about NFTs? We talked a little bit about
it's
NFTs.
funny when we mentioned that, and I'm like, wow, this is pretty amazing how people are just buying pictures of nothing. That I personally don't understand it.
Me neither. I don't think anybody does.
I do see the value in it because you have a lot of people today who don't know how to interact with people, and they live in a box.
Yeah.
So they'll have 1,000 Facebook friends and have like 2 or 3 real friends. Mm-hmm. And if they walk somewhere, their head is down on the floor and they don't know anyone. And the unfortunate reality is I think that's what the world's becoming. See, like I interact with thousands of people because that's what I like to do.
You're a real estate guy. That's what real estate guys do, though.
That's true, but I don't really consider that a real estate person because I only deal with the same people every single day.
Okay.
And when I meet new people, I just try to throw them on one of them other guys because unless they want to sell me something. Because real estate is basically, you don't really need money to make money in real estate. What you need in real estate is either A, a buyer, or B, a product.
What other kind of businesses are you in?
Well, I dabble in anything that makes money. You know what I mean? Look, yesterday a friend of mine hit me up. That he's a realtor. He's a good friend of mine. He's actually selling a property of mine for like $4 million. And he hit me with this Eureka Coin. He said, Bryon, look at this Eureka Coin. It was $1.90.
Get a little bit closer to the mic.
It was $1.90.
You can pull it to you.
Yeah, it was $1.90. And I think he hit me up at about 2 p.m. yesterday. And the last I checked about an hour ago was at $5.50.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I've never even heard of Eureka Coin.
Neither did I. Well, 99% of the things today I've never heard of.
Yeah.
See, that's why, I jump in and out, and then I'll play the wave and, I'll day trade and I'll make 70, 80 transactions in an hour due to the fact that you never go broke on a profit. So if you can make your little in and out money, just do it.
Right.
Because I don't feel comfortable with any stock unless when you look at the balance sheet, their assets are greater than their debt. Like Macy's stock last year, I think it dropped to like $5. When you looked at their balance sheet, their building in Manhattan alone was worth more than their stock plus their debt. So I bought a lot of that.
How do you find their balance sheet?
Well, any stockbroker, anybody knows about stocks will show you how to work that. It's really not that interesting, but it's common sense.
You can like go online or something and like download it.
Yeah, just talk to a stock guy. Hey, look, what do you think about this? What do you think about that?
Okay.
But like the stock game is really not my hustle. I just don't find any pleasure in buying something that's intangible. I like to actually feel and look and smell the product.
Yeah, that's what a lot of real estate guys do. They're like, "Oh, I want to drive you around and show you my buildings." You know what I mean? They get like a high off of like driving around and seeing like, "Look, I own this piece of land. I own this giant building." There's like something to that.
Well, the reason being is because you already know the worth. You already see it. When you're dealing with stocks, you got millions of dollars riding on somebody else's knowledge or somebody else's fear. Because stocks are mostly news and fear.
Emotions.
Yeah, it's just an emotional play. It's just hard to control that. When you're a guy that's been doing business and you've come from nothing, you have a lot of insecurities. And the biggest insecurity that I've noticed with the thousands of people that I've dealt with is not knowing the future. And when you're dealing with something that's intangible, you don't know the future. But when you look at other people who've come from money and they make it easily, they don't really have fear because they don't know what bad is. You know what I mean? It's like, let me give you an example. Let's pretend that your father was worth $100 million and you lived in a skyrise and he had Bentley coupes and Phantoms. And, that's all you know. You go to, you're sheltered in your life. And then he throws you out in the middle of the road, gives you $1 million here, and then you're driving a E-Class Benz. You think you're doing horrible. But those people have never starved. They've never ate tomato sandwiches on 5-day-old bread.
Right.
So it's hard to respect that hustle. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So when you come from nothing, you see the value of anything. You see the value of a one-night stay in a motel. You see the value of getting to the hotel at 6:01 a.m. so you could stay an extra day. You see value in different things. You see a value in getting a used car license and buying a car and using it for free and reselling it at the auction next week after you detailed it, made $500 basically on a floor plan. So you see different aspects of life. When you go to other countries and you see how people live, and then you come back and see, wow, you know what? Nobody in the United States should ever complain because you were born in greatness, because you already have a major head start. Why do you think people from other countries come here within 3-4 years? They own businesses, houses. Meanwhile, you have a lot of people in this country, all they want to do is cry, and their net worth is negative because they don't understand what bad is. So once you understand what bad is, you'll realize that no matter what, you're going to make it as long as you're steady. You know what I mean?
Yeah.